Hello, and welcome to Nuts About Baseball, a podcast that will entertain you with discussions involving everything baseball. I'm your host, Joe Grimme, and I appreciate you joining me. Sit back, relax, and enjoy as I share my passion for the sport we call America's pastime. Welcome, everyone, to this episode of Nuts About Baseball. I am your host, Joe Grimme. Today, we're going to talk about money in baseball. And quite frankly, what could possibly ruin this sport if something is not done in the near future, and at least in the next 12 months. I'm going to take a look at the top 10 contracts being paid to individual players. I'm going to talk about each one of them, whether I think they're worth it or not. I'm going to talk about some of their stats. I'm also going to get into a little bit of the team salaries and a few issues as to what I think is wrong with baseball today. So let's get right into it. As I said, if something's not done soon, these salaries that are getting paid to these players are simply going to ruin the sport. When I talk about these individual salaries being made, I am talking about what's called average annual value, AAV. Now, these players don't necessarily get this much money every single year, but when you take a look at their entire contract from beginning to end, it averages out to the AAV. And that's the number that I'm going to be talking about. There's a lot of talk out there about deferred money and luxury tax and this, that, and the other, a lot of which I fully don't understand. But at the end of the day, what I'm going to discuss is average annual value. Let's just go ahead and get through the top 10 as it stands for 2026. The highest paid player at $70 million for the season, Shohei Ohtani. Number 2 on the list, Kyle Tucker, he'll make $60 million. Both of them Los Angeles Dodgers. Number 3 on the list, making $51 million, Juan Soto. He is with the New York Mets. Number 4 on the list is the highest paid pitcher, Philadelphia Phillies' Zach Wheeler. He makes $42 million. Next on the list at number 5, recently signed Bo Bichette with the New York Mets. He will also make $42 million. Number 6 on the list is Aaron Judge, New York Yankees. He makes $40 million a year. Number 7 on the list is our second pitcher, Jacob deGrom. He is with the Texas Rangers, and he will make $37 million. Number 8 is Blake Snell. He's with the Los Angeles Dodgers. He will make $36,400,000. Next on the list is number 9, Garrett Cole, starting pitcher for the New York Yankees. He will make $36 million. And number 10 on this list is Vladimir Guerrero Jr. He will make $35,714,286. That's a lot of cash. Let's get one thing straight. None of these players are worth what they're making, but it's all relative. If the money is there, then why shouldn't they get it? We pay for the tickets, the TV stations are getting in the revenue, and it's because of the players that are on the field. And those top 10 are absolutely some of the best players in the game. Do you have a thought as to which player on that list is the most overpaid player? I do, and I'm going to get into that later. So just hold your horses and let's start talking about the players. I'm going to start with the pitchers. Pitchers and position players are very different, in my opinion. On that list, out of 10 players, there are 4 starting pitchers, not counting Ohtani. 4 other full-time starting pitchers. Each of them will start probably 30 to 35 games if they're lucky. In 2025, last season, the highest games started was 34, Logan Webb. So let's just say each of them average between 30 to 35 games. Basically, every pitcher on that list will get over $1 million every time they walk out on that field to make a start. Let's calculate something. If they throw 9 innings, which is a complete game, which is very rare, listen to what they'll make. Over $111,000 per inning. And let's be honest, not many of them are going to throw many complete games. Last year, only 2 pitchers had 2 complete games. Several had 1 complete game. But these days, the way these teams are using their pitchers with starters going 6, maybe 7 innings if you're lucky, bringing in your relievers at 8 and 9, there are not many complete games anymore. So these starting pitchers are getting even more per inning when they step on that mound. Let's start out with the highest paid starting pitcher, Zach Wheeler. He signed his contract in 2025. He was having a great season last year, but then he suffered an injury. He finished with a 10-5 record, a 2.71 ERA, and pitched almost 150 innings. I'll be honest, he would have been in the conversation for the Cy Young Award, but he got injured, and obviously he fell off the radar. He was absolutely not worth the money given the injury. Now, next on the list, Jacob deGrom, Texas Rangers. He signed his contract in 2022. In 2022, he was 5-4 with a 3.08 ERA. 9 decisions. In 2023, he got injured. He only pitched 30 innings. The following season, 2024, he only pitched 10 innings. Now, last year, he did have a little bit of a rebound. He was 12-8 with a 2.97 ERA. But since he signed this contract, he is definitely not worth the money that he's getting paid. Next on the list, Blake Snell, Los Angeles Dodgers. He signed his contract in November of 2024. He was with the Giants prior to signing that contract, and he had a 5-3 record with a 3.12 ERA. But he only pitched 104 innings. So he only throws 104 innings and signs this huge contract with the Dodgers. After the contract is signed, last year, he has a record of 5-4 with a 2.35 ERA and pitched only 61 innings. His season was cut short by an injury. Are you seeing a pattern here? Finally, the last pitcher on the list, the New York Yankees, Garrett Cole. He signed his contract in 2019, and the 5 seasons after that, from 2020 through 2024, he collected 59 wins with a 3.12 ERA, and he threw over 150 innings per season. Not bad. But then you look at 2024, and he had Tommy John surgery. He was out the entire 2025 season. Think about it. Every pitcher on that list that I just talked about all suffered injuries. I don't know if it's coincidence or if it simply means that these high-profile stud starting pitchers are putting too much pressure on their arms, and that leads to success, and then it leads to injury. But hey, if you can get the money, and then you unfortunately get injured and can sit the bench and watch the games while you collect a paycheck, more power to you. It does teach me one thing. If you're a big league ball club, I would hesitate before you give so much money to a starting pitcher who doesn't even play every single day. This episode is brought to you by Maria Whalen and Bravenly. If you're training hard, working long hours, or just trying to stay sharp day in and day out, Bravenly is something that's becoming a part of the daily routine for a lot of people. Bravenly is an all-natural, holistic, plant-based wellness company designed to support men and women of all ages, whether you're an athlete, weekend warrior, or just trying to feel and perform better. Their supplements are made with clean ingredients and no artificial colors, dyes, or flavorings, just thoughtfully sourced formulas that support real energy, recovery, focus, digestion, and overall balance. Bravenly isn't about quick fixes or stimulants. It's about fueling your body the right way so you can train harder, recover smarter, and show up stronger. If you're looking for a clean, effective way to support your body, check out Maria's website at mariawhalenglowup.bravenlyglobal.com. All right, let's move on to the hitters on the list. First is the highest paid player in the league, Shohei Ohtani. You want me to talk about him? Well, I'm not going to. Why? Although this entire discussion is all relative to the money that's being paid these days, Shohei Ohtani is probably worth the $70 million that he makes every season. He's a phenomenal hitter. He's a superb pitcher. And remember, he also had surgery and didn't pitch for a full year like the other pitchers. So there's another commonality between all of them. Shohei Ohtani is quite possibly the best baseball player to ever walk the face of the earth. Next, I'm going to talk about Vladimir Guerrero Jr. over $35 million a year. He signed his contract in April of 2025. He had a pretty good season in 2025 last year, 23 home runs, 84 RBIs, and a 292 batting average. He made the All-Star team, and he was 13th in the American League MVP voting. If you watch the postseason, you know what I'm talking about. He was ridiculous. In 18 games this past postseason, Guerrero hit .397. He had 8 home runs, 15 RBIs, and scored 18 runs. After that performance in the postseason and the season that he had, he's probably worth the money he's making. Next on the list is Aaron Judge. He's making $40 million. He signed this contract after the 2022 season. The 3 years since that contract was signed, he has a .312 batting average and has hit 148 home runs. That's almost 50 home runs per season. He's also knocked in 333 runs. That's 111 per season. He's been an all-star each year, and he won the American League Most Valuable Player Award in 2024 and 2025. Aaron Judge? Yep, he's worth the money. Next on the list is Bo Bichette. One of the new signings recently with the New York Mets, $42 million signed just last month. He was injured a lot in 2024. He only played 81 games, and he was somewhat limited last season in 2025. He played 139 games. In 2025, he did have 18 home runs, 94 RBIs, and a batting average of .311. His 162-game averages are 24 home runs and 95 RBIs. Bichette led the American League in hits in 2021 and 2022, and in 2023 he was 4th in the league, and the following season last year he was 2nd in the league. I think so far he might be worth this money, but I think the jury is still out because I'm very anxious to see how he does by switching over to the New York Mets in the National League. Speaking of the New York Mets, here's another one, Juan Soto. He's making $51 million this season. He signed his contract just over a year ago in December of 2024. From 2018 through 2024, his 162-game averages are 36 home runs, 103 RBIs, and a .282 batting average. Last season, after signing this big contract, his batting average slipped a little bit. He hit .263, but he hit 43 home runs, which was 3rd in the National League, and he knocked in 105 runs, which was also 3rd in the National League. He has led all of Major League Baseball in walks 4 of the last 5 years. Soto also led all of Major League Baseball with on-base percentage in 2020 and 2021, and he led the National League in on-base percentage last season. Soto has been in the top 10 for Most Valuable Player Award voting 6 of the last 8 seasons that he has played. He's collected 6 Silver Slugger awards. My opinion, he is probably worth the money. That now brings me to the last player on that list, Kyle Tucker. Recently signed with the Los Angeles Dodgers for $60 million, January 15th. This is pretty much what prompted me to dive into this and do this episode because I think it's an absolute joke as to what Kyle Tucker is getting paid by the Los Angeles Dodgers. Listen to this. 2025, last year, Chicago Cubs. He hit 22 home runs. That's 28th in the National League. He had 73 RBIs. That's 37th in the National League. This is a guy that is playing at Wrigley Field. And in fact, at Wrigley Field, he only hit 7 home runs and had 26 RBIs. His batting average at home was .236. That's 1 home run every 33 at-bats. He's not even the best player on the Cubs. He wasn't even the best player on the Cubs. 6 guys had more hits than him. 5 guys had more home runs than him. And 5 guys had more RBIs than him. It's unbelievable what he is making with the Los Angeles Dodgers. I think he is the most overpaid player in all of Major League Baseball. And shame on the Dodgers for paying him this amount of money. Okay, I'm off my soapbox. Well, maybe not. I've got more to talk about. What does the future hold? Well, the current labor agreement expires December 1 of this year, 2026. It is very possible that we might see another lockout prior to next season. What does that mean? Well, it means that if the owners and the players cannot enter into a new agreement, the players would be locked out by the owners and not be able to play. What issues are to be resolved? Well, the first one is, will there be a salary cap? The next one, will there be changes to the salary floor? A lot of you might not know what that means. The salary floor is the minimum amount that teams must use to reinvest in their players' salaries. Right now, a lot of small market teams are not reinvesting enough in their players. They're using it for other things, or they're holding it in some sort of capital account, money that they get from television contracts. If a new agreement is reached, that might change. Speaking of television contracts, that is a big issue that needs to be discussed. There's so much discrepancy between what some teams get and what other teams get. The Dodgers, for example, receive over $330 million from Spectrum. The San Diego Padres, on the other hand, only receive between $20 and $30 million from streaming services like MLB.tv. What's the moral of the story? Something needs to happen. Small market teams just can't compete, with a few exceptions. Let's look at the team payrolls for 2025 last season. Number one on the list, most of you know, the Los Angeles Dodgers. They had a payroll of over $463 million. Second on the list, the New York Mets, $371 million plus. Third on the list, the New York Yankees, over $344 million. Fourth on the list, the Philadelphia Phillies, over $338 million. And fifth on the list, the Toronto Blue Jays at $303 million. So, look at those teams. Did the money buy wins and success? Well, the Dodgers won the World Series over the Blue Jays, both teams in the top 5 for team payroll. The only team on there that didn't make the playoffs, the New York Mets. And we all remember, thankfully, they just had an absolute meltdown that allowed the Reds back into the playoffs for the first time in several years. When you look at team payroll over the entire league, only one team in the top 10 was under 500, and that was the Atlanta Braves. I think the main reason for their subpar season was because they suffered a lot of injuries. Now, exceptions to what my theory is here as to money buying wins, Milwaukee Brewers. They were 18th overall in team payroll at $205 million, but they still made the playoffs. But the best success story are the Cleveland Guardians. They made the playoffs, and they were 25th out of 30 teams overall with team payroll at just $132 million. When you look at the bottom half of team payroll, the 15 teams, 5 of them, 1/3, were above 500. What's the takeaway from today's episode? Well, the bottom line is this. We need to see something happen. I hope the players and the owners can get together and start making some progress soon. Talks are scheduled to resume during spring training of this season, which is just a few weeks away, but the clock is absolutely ticking. Folks, enjoy this season because things are very unstable. And we really need these players and owners to get an agreement in place so that baseball starts on time for the 2027 season. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Please go out there, click on whatever you're supposed to like my podcast, or that you follow it or subscribe to it. I don't know. I don't understand all the platforms, to be quite honest with you. I know just enough to be dangerous when it comes to doing this podcast, but I hope you're enjoying it because I am. And until next time, I am Joe Grimme, and I am nuts about baseball.